Test.
Wow.
Test.
Look at us go. Just
Look at us
making
go.
money moves
Making money moves.
on the podcast.
So you're getting into music officially.
Yeah, trying to. I don't know.
Attempting.
I'm attempting. Yeah, it's an attempt.
Maybe you'll make a world premiere. Maybe it'll suck ass.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Making a lot of money moves.
Yes, lots of different crazy things going on for the both of us.
That's right. And you know what? We're getting there.
We're getting it.
We're getting there. Still haven't heard back from that job.
Look at this character arc of us.
The character arc, it's really a positive change.
A positive change, the 8 steps of the circle.
We're gonna talk about some sad things that have happened recently, and we're gonna talk about cancel culture today as well, because just some stuff that's happening recently has been absurd. But we'll talk about that in the podcast. Welcome to Small YouTube Channels Talk.
Roll the intro.
Warning, the following pre-recorded podcast will blow your mind. Broadcasting to Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. Recorded in Cole's parents' basement. This is Small YouTube Channels Talk.
Welcome back. This is Small YouTube
Channels Talk. My name is Jack Unruh.
And my name is Cole James Anderson.
Glad to have you back.
Welcome back to
Happy
the podcast.
Friday.
Yo, dude, we're doing so well. We're recording the podcast on a Wednesday and not a Thursday the day before.
Literally
unheard of. This is unprecedented.
Unprecedented. This is history.
This is history being made.
Wow. This will be talked about for years to come.
The fact that we recorded
on a Wednesday.
Okay, so we hope you guys have had a good week. We know that the week kind of started off kind of shitty with the passing of Kobe Bryant,
terrible,
and his young daughter, and what was it? 7 other people in the helicopter. It was a helicopter crash in Southern California, I want to say. Terrible tragedy. Now, I don't know anything about basketball. Could you maybe give me insight on Kobe?
Basically, he's like, okay, so obviously my favorite player of all time is Michael Jordan. Like, I think he's the greatest of all time.
Of course.
But if you take Michael Jordan out of the equation, Kobe Bryant is the best player to ever play the game. And he's just the coolest guy ever. No drama. He's just, he's just a cool guy. You can tell he's like a really good dad. That's what everybody says about him. He's just the nicest guy. And like, I just freaking loved Kobe. And like, when I heard that he died, I was just like, oh, it's kind of a weak ruiner, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, and I've never really like actually like teared up at the passing of like a celebrity or something like that. Like this one, like I almost started crying because of this. You know what I mean? And it's like super sad. Like,
yeah, like when Joaquin Phoenix passes away for me, that'll be like it's something like that, like somebody to look up to.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know a lot about basketball, but we were talking about this earlier because of a project that Jack is currently working on that we're not going to spoil. Not going to spoil. But we were talking about the subject of Kobe Bryant, and I did say, I was like, I don't know anything about him, but I do know, like, it definitely does say the fact that people would scream Kobe, when like making like a shot.
Yeah.
Especially us, like me, who would never make the shot. We always scream it just for that extra bit of luck, because if he's built himself such a legacy where that became a thing, and that's unheard of. And
you see all the different types of people that are impacted by this. You can see like the reach he had on the world, like just the way he lived and the way he was. Did you know that he actually had a couple film companies that he started? Like he was into film. Really? He made an Oscar-winning short.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, did he like direct it or write it or what?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And it was like an animation, and it was called Dear Basketball.
Oh. Okay.
And it's
right about something new.
Yeah. And like when you watch it, like now, especially after he died, it's just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And yeah, he was like, he was going to do a lot with like film, and he was just getting into that kind of side of things, which I thought was super cool. Yeah. Which all the more sucks that he's gone now.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
I guess that would make sense. I mean, that's insane. But on another topic, a lot of cancel culture has for some reason.
Wait. Would we describe what cancel culture is?
So cancel culture is it's basically, you know, like you see something small will happen or something from the past will be brought up to cancel someone. Right. So in 2003 there were rape allegations against Kobe Bryant, and there's a lot of things that you could say about that, and I probably will get into that, but no one talked about that like that. I didn't even know about that until he died and people started talking about it. Like clearly it didn't there wasn't like it
wasn't significant.
There wasn't like a witch hunt for him like there was for like other people, right? Because Weinstein, everybody knew that Weinstein was an asshole. Everybody in his like circles and people even outside of his circle, they knew that he, you know, he sexually assaulted girls and he asked for all these favors and he was just overall a general creep, right? But with Kobe Bryant, the fact that it didn't seem credible, basically. Like, you always should take rape accusations as credible, even if, you know, still innocent until proven guilty, but you need to look at every accusation as it could be credible. And of course, this happened in 2003, so this was before the whole Me Too movement and everything started blowing up. So it that does give it a little bit of credibility, it being before a time when it was like cool to do it almost. I don't want to say cool to do it, but like when people started doing it more.
Yeah.
But I don't think the woman ever testified.
No, she refused to testify. And you know, that's just like one of those things too, like when you look at literally everything that everybody that's come in contact with Kobe has said about him.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Ellen all made moments on their shows dedicated to, and all three of them like teared up.
Yeah. And
those would be the people that would know if he's a scumbag.
Yeah,
not,
like the people that know him best. And like, so that's what kind of like, it's like, are you serious? Like, okay, because if somebody's famous, somebody blows up, right? There's going to be people out to bring them down. That's just the way it is. And if literally everybody that knows him best says that how great of a guy he is, like, I'm going to believe them over.
Right.
And I mean, I'm obviously, you know, like there's things where like, yeah, there is rape that happens in the world and you can't just like blow people off.
Right. Most of it isn't false accusations. Right. But I think, and it's also popular that maybe Kobe Bryant, like made like a move towards her that wasn't like a sexual assault thing, and she just read it differently than what he meant.
And that's just the thing. Like, we have no idea what happened. So like we can't and this is what really pissed me off. Like, literally a day after he died, I see a post on Facebook that says, "Remember when Kobe Bryant raped somebody?" Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And like, that just pissed, like, he just died with his 13-year-old daughter and 7 other people in a helicopter crash. His wife and his other 3 kids. Like,
and now, and like, yeah, okay.
And you're just, what is the point of posting that?
That's yeah, so it's rough because that, like, the rape allegations should be something that we keep in our mind because we don't know whether or not they were true. But, and I don't want to say that, okay, so in a way, by doing that, you're kind of tarnishing his legacy almost immediately, right?
Right, a day after
he had
he
a
died.
complicated legacy with the fact that he did have rape allegations. Granted, they were at the very beginning of the last decade, or not even the last decade, the decade before that. So like, this happened. I was 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? This happened so long ago, and there hasn't been anything since. If he was sexually assaulting people, he either got really good at keeping it hidden or he wasn't.
Right.
And when you're famous, it's really hard to keep that shit, because look at Weinstein. 40 people came out against that guy. And that guy has been charged in like 3-4 different states.
Yeah.
That dude's in prison.
Don't you think if Kobe was such a scumbag that more people would be coming out about this?
Right.
But and not only that, like, okay, if we're going to talk about like rape and women being sexually assaulted, okay, let's do that. But let's not do it a day after a guy died. Like, there's
a time and a place.
Isn't there
it.
somebody else that you
Yeah.
can talk about that for? You know, I mean, like, Kobe inspired generations of future basketball players, not only basketball players, but just everyday people too. You know, just like the way he was, his mentality, like that's inspiring. Like that's the way he should be remembered.
Right.
And all the good things that he's done, instead of picking one supposed incident
Right.
that we don't even know is true and then just blasting it all over the place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I read an article and it was titled like The Complicated Legacy of Kobe Bryant. And most of it was talking about his achievements in basketball and his achievements, fucking Christ. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I'll have to remember to get that out. Okay. So anyways, yeah, it's like, it like lined out like everything that he's like achieved. And then at the very end, it mentioned the rape allegations. And I think that is a way that you should remember someone, because they were accusations and we do not know. Like technically, yes, he won. So by law, he didn't. But we both know that the law lies and innocent people get sent to jail and guilty people go free. So like between you and me, we don't know if he actually did. But we can look at all these things and say, yeah, okay, he was accused. And from what I know, I don't think he did it.
Right.
But we should still remember that, because there is a place to talk about it.
So here's
the day
thing.
after someone like that dies, we should be remembering their legacy and then using that as a talking point to talk about it. Because most of the time when people bring up, like these rape and these sexual assault allegations, they don't ever want to actually do anything about them. Mm-hmm. And we need to.
And so here's the thing too, is like, it's so easy to, this is what makes it so complicated, is it's so easy to accuse somebody. Like I could accuse you of murdering somebody right now. Like I could just accuse you of that. And and then, okay, so let's say I just accuse you, Cole James Anderson, of murder right now, right? So then you go to court.
Rude, but okay.
And then they're like, Jack, you want to tell us your reasoning behind this, what this is all about? You want to talk about this? No. And then literally you had no choice in the matter.
Right.
You were just accused of murder.
Right.
And then the other person just dips. And that,
well, then the case would be dropped.
Which just makes it so complicated. Is like the case was dropped. The court case was dropped for Kobe Bryant, and like,
well, here's the thing to understand is because by my understanding, and I don't know 100% why she didn't testify, but a lot of these things people think that like, oh, they're doing this to get famous. Can you name a single one of Trump's accusers?
Stormy Daniels.
That she didn't accuse him of sexual assault. She just said that he paid. That's not like a sexual assault. Sure. There's like a bunch of women that have come out against Trump. And can you name a single one of them? No, but literally the entire right was saying they're just doing that to get famous. But I literally can't name a single one of Weinstein's, Trump's, fucking not P Diddy, fucking what's his face, R. Kelly. I can't name a single one of those accusers. And the stigma used to be, oh, well, you're going to get famous and you're going to get death threats and stuff. And it's very possible that maybe it did happen and she didn't want to be witch hunted by, basketball fans or whatever. So, or on the opposite side, he just didn't rape her. And again,
and she did it for money.
We don't know.
Well, see here, that's what makes this whole thing such a complicated issue. It's like, now I'm not using the example of Kobe, I'm just using a general case.
Sure.
Somebody raped somebody, like somebody actually raped somebody and they accuse them of it. Like, yeah, if you rape somebody, like, yeah, like castrated or killed,
Yeah, of course.
But
that's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
There's literally every single crime can be justified except for rape.
And not only that, but like, that's what makes it such a complicated issue. Because I'm all for like punishing people that rape people. The problem is there have been many, many cases where people just lie about it. You know what I mean?
There's always going to be those cases.
And
but also statistically, false accusations are less common. But I guess what would really help? We need a study that shows how often there are false accusations in like everyday life to normal people, and then how often there are foul, because maybe between you and me, us regular people, if someone down the street accused another person that we know of sexual assault, the likelihood that was a false accusation is relatively low because that probably did happen. But with a celebrity, I feel like the chances of it being a false accusation kind of rise because there's just a lot of crazies.
Yeah, and it's easy to target them.
Right.
They got a lot of money. They're famous. Right. And the also thing that sucks for them is like they have to face these things in the face of the public. Right. Like if an everyday person was like facing a rape accusation, let's just say it wasn't true. Let's just say it was a false rape accusation. So like for me, if I was facing a false rape accusation, I wouldn't have to deal with it in front of the entire world. Right. It wouldn't be on the news. It would be relatively contained. Right. But a celebrity that everybody knows, that's going to get blasted. And so they have to live with that, and then
there's always going to be people that think they did it.
Yep.
And then there's always going to be people that defend them.
Yep.
And that's the thing about it too, because then, we know that R. Kelly, a fucking piece of shit, and he's done all these horrible things, but there are still people that like support him. And that's really messed up.
If somebody's like messed up, like, yeah, but
this Kobe Bryant thing is less, it's kind of similar, but less similar to, the situation with Michael Jackson, because there used to be like a lot of stuff that like right after Michael Jackson's death, that's when like a lot of stuff came out about like him, and like we don't know, we can't sit him down and he can't tell us because he's dead,
right?
And you can tell with these people, usually their being is pretty telling. And of course, I don't know, and I never knew Kobe, but he didn't seem like an asshole. He didn't seem like the kind of guy to
he's a family man.
People. Yeah, and he seemed more than happy to have children and do his career, and he had goals. And it's unfortunate, is what it is, because
now, I mean, there's this accusation out there, and then you got people saying that you can't just sweep the girls thing under the carpet, but then we don't even know if it's true or not. And so like, it's just so complicated because it just divides people, what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know.
And I don't sit on the side of, I think he did it, or I don't think he did it. I sit in the middle because I don't know. And I never will know. Do I think that he did it? No, I don't. But if I say that, people are going to witch hunt me. If I say that he did, I'm going to lose friends.
It's tough. It's tough thing.
But then with stuff like Weinstein, yeah, of course the fucker did it.
Yeah.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
And then with Trump, it's complicated because it's like, well, the dude was running for fucking president. So there's a lot of people who did not want him as president.
Yeah.
But it's also possible that maybe shit did happen, because that grab him by the pussy line is not locker room talk. Let's just say that. I do not think that is locker room. I've never heard someone say that in a locker room. Let's just say that. And I've been in my fair share of locker rooms.
Yeah.
But it's also that maybe Trump just has bad judgment, and he just said that, and he's not a bad guy. I don't know him, so I can't tell you that.
It's so tough because we don't know these people.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So like,
maybe when we blow up, we can meet them and we can make these decisions ourselves.
Right. So that being said, we are not the type of people to be throwing our opinion all over the place.
That's right. Because my opinion is that I don't have one, because I don't have enough credible information.
Yeah. And throwing it all over the place in terms of saying it's true, like a Facebook post that says, remember when Kobe Bryant raped somebody? Nobody should forget that.
Yeah. Or like someone like reposted it, and they were like, rip his daughter, but Kobe was a rapist, or something like that. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. It's like,
whoa, no.
Yeah,
we don't know that.
Yeah.
The case was dropped. Is it possible? Sure, but we don't know.
Exactly.
He's dead.
What are you talking
Let the
about?
guy die. Well, maybe not. Okay.
It's just tough.
The world is
It's
so
just,
frustrating.
At the end of the day,
That's one of the things that I'm worried about too, because this is gonna be a little bit off topic, but I've been watching Architectural Digest on YouTube, and they do these huge showcases of these giant 5, 10, 30, 50, $100 million mansions, and I'm like, holy shit, they're so nice.
yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, wow, I'm gonna make it one day. I'm gonna buy one of those, and I'm gonna have a bunch of friends over. We're gonna fucking party. I'm gonna have Leonardo DiCaprio over.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, we're gonna fucking bool. But then what if I find out that one of my heroes is an asshole? What if I find out that Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking dick?
Yeah. And that I've thought about that before too. Like Jimmy Fallon, I'm such a big fan. Like if I got my one chance to meet him,
and he's an asshole to
and
you,
he's just a prick.
Maybe he's even just having a bad day too.
Yeah, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
That
would
sucks.
fucking
But
suck.
it goes both ways. It sucks for them too.
Yeah.
Because if I was a celebrity, feeling like every day I have to have the best day ever,
Yeah.
every person I meet I have to treat like they're my long lost brother,
Right.
I'm
Granted, though, I know a lot of celebrities are kind of like, oh my god, I don't like that, but that would be great.
for sure.
Yeah, to
but
be
for how long?
right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because thinking about it, it's like, oh my god, I love people coming up to me. Oh, I loved your film. You're one of my inspirations. That'd be fucking great. But also, well, there's real people like that, and then there's people who just want your fucking signature so they can sell something on eBay, or they just want a picture so they have clout. I just hope I have, if I were to get to that point, I hope that I have more intimate moments than sideshow moments. I don't want to be this fucking carnival act to them.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Carnival
act.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It is
You
complicated
understand what I mean,
okay, so I've totally had days where I just I'm open to anything. Dude, yeah, I want to meet a bunch of people. This is a great day.
Yeah.
And then I've had days where just nobody even
isolate
talk
yourself.
to me.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me at all. No one. I don't want any communication today. I'm just gonna game all day long. Maybe I have to make a trip to the store,
Right.
And so if I'm having one of those days as a celebrity and I have to go to the store and then I got people just mobbing me,
well, that's
gonna
the best
piss me
thing
off.
about being a celebrity though, because once you reach a certain point, you can just hire someone to go shop for you.
For sure, yeah.
and then you'll have you'll have the security team so no one bothers you when you go bowling or something.
Yeah, just buy the arena for the night, buy the bowling arena.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that stuff too, because it's what if you gotta, because I feel like if we got popular and we managed to sell a couple of films and we had maybe $50-100 million under our belt, and all of a sudden we'd be like, okay, so I'm going to buy a mansion on the west side, I'm going to buy a mansion on the east side, and then I'm going to buy a mansion in South Dakota, maybe even one in Texas, all right, so that I can travel between them and always have a home. And then, I got to have a butler at these ones, and I got to have a chef at these ones. Oh, we got to make sure I have a driver with me because I don't want to be driving.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd reached this point where I'm like, oh, well, I got to be constantly working on the next script,
Yeah.
And then I think about it and I'm like, well, I like occasionally cooking. I like driving. Maybe let's push the butler to the side a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and that's another thing too. Is celebrities' lives are such under a magnifying glass to the public.
You can't go out if you're a celebrity.
Everything they do is just picked apart. Everything.
And I'm not
a
person to go to parties too. I feel like that's the only place where they're okay is celebrity parties. But I'm not even. I feel like I would not fit in a celebrity party.
Just kind of just want to play
Turn
Fortnite
my
right
left
now.
and there's fucking LeBron, and turn to my right and there's Billy, and I'm like, oh, I don't fit in here.
Yeah.
I'm just a kid from South Dakota.
Yeah, I just eating my Little Caesars.
Everyone, I show up to this party and the fucking John Alton and shits, and I'm like, I brought pizza. I got crazy bread. I know you like crazy bread.
Got the
LeBron.
crazy bread. They've got 5-course meals by the Gordon Ramsay's cooking up a storm there. We show up, want some chocolate milk?
Oh my! I was thinking about this the other day. If Gordon Ramsay ever cooked for me, I fucking made it.
Dude, I was just watching him at Great Life today.
Really?
He was on when you were on the treadmills.
He was at Great Life. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was just, he's my bud, old Gordo. No, yeah, he was like on the TV and he was like out shooting goats and it was pretty sweet.
Dude,
It's pretty
Gordon
sick.
Ramsay's a great guy.
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. I feel like I've reached my peak in my life if Gordon Ramsay has cooked for me.
Yeah.
And not like you go to one of his fucking restaurants and like like him. He comes to my house and he uses my kitchen and my food and he cooks for me. That's my goal.
That's peak.
That's peak.
So here's
It's only downhill from there.
Yeah. Like Jacob said, he's like, my peak in life, Vikings win the Super Bowl. What's the point of me even living? After that, I know anything. Never gonna be as happy as that.
That's his peak.
That's his peak.
That's sad. His peak depends on other people doing his job for him.
Here's an interesting question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Say you made it big and you're in Hollywood. Any famous person, not just actors, but
thought
any
about this
directors,
before. Okay.
who'd be like your friend group? Like who'd you want to like have a little get together at your house? If you could pick a couple like people, celebrities,
okay,
to hang out with.
So I have a few people that I really admire that I think I would get along with.
Sure.
So David Dobrik isn't necessarily like a celebrity, but I would bring some like YouTube, some like people that I knew from YouTube over. So David Dobrik, your D for Darius, or maybe
James
even
Charles.
James Charles. No, James A. Janice from Dead Me. First we'll get the YouTube people in, okay?
Right.
And then Billie Eilish. I feel like I would get to know. I feel like she would be a cool friend. Leonardo DiCaprio. I need to talk to this guy.
Of course, that'd be one of the coolest conversations.
Michael Bay. I don't like his movies, but he seems like a really chill guy. And I like explosions, so
for sure.
You might as well. Yeah, that'd be good for David's vlog. And then I feel like, well, you obviously,
of course, everybody knows that.
Of course, yes. I'm sorry, I left you like number 7.
You know what?
Post Malone, Posty
That'd be
on your
sick.
shirt.
Wearing a Posty shirt today.
Yes, sorry, you guys can't see him, but just imagine Post Malone.
I'm gonna point the mic
shirt.
look at it.
Yes, hear it.
Can you hear my shirt? All right, so we got YouTubers, Posty, Billy, Leo.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of music stars I get along with too. Like there's some I feel like I like some of Taylor Swift stuff. She seems like she'd be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Smith seems cool. He's got a really angelic voice, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely kill to meet like John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and like those. Yeah, I would just pick like a bunch of like people from shit that I knew, honestly.
Yeah,
and like it'd be like a really mismatched group, but
for sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'd do.
That'd be pretty cool.
What about you?
Well, for sure, like my top one is Jimmy Fallon.
Of course. He'd be
such a fun one to hang out
What
with.
if you got like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Conan,
just all the late
Ellen,
night shows,
and then just have them like sit in like a circle and talk?
That'd be so crazy.
That'd be crazy.
So if I had to have like a little get together, it'd be in my little friend group. If I could pick, it'd be Jimmy. Of course, I'd invite Leo over.
Oh, of course, yes.
Of course.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah,
like I said, yeah.
Posty.
What about Brad Pitt?
He'd be interesting, but I don't know if he'd fall into my friend group. You know what I mean? I'd have to get to know the guy. He seems cool, but
he'd be a friend of Leo's.
Right. He can pop along if he wants. Probably, LeBron would be a really cool guy to talk to.
Oh yeah,
he'd just be a cool guy to like just have a conversation. Shaq, he'd be in my friend.
Shaq would be in our friend group immediately.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that I'd love to like have a conversation with, but like just hang out with. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? It seems like
I feel like some of the Stranger Things cast at Millie Bobby Brown,
because a lot of people more our age, a little younger, like
because it's good to have like a spectrum,
right?
Get some child actors in there, some like popular ones right now,
like from the
your Finn Wolfhards, your Millie Bobby Browns, Bill Hader. Holy crap, Bill Hader would be I don't know if he'd be in our friend group.
Nick Kroll,
yes.
for sure. I love Nick Kroll. He's my boy.
That would be I like how this episode of the podcast is just us daydreaming.
Yes, us daydreaming.
Welcome to the Small YouTubers Daydreaming Podcast.
You must be crazy by like episode 40 when we're like in Hollywood and you can like see. So we got Leo here with us today. If you guys remember back in episode 8,
we actually daydreamed about this happening, and now he's our best friend.
The character arc throughout the podcast is really developing us.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it just hit 30 minutes. Let's take a quick ad break.
Ad break, go.
Hey, Jack.
Yes, Cole James Anderson.
Have you ever wanted to make a podcast?
I've always wanted to make a podcast before.
Wow, that's great. Because if you haven't heard, Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast.
Really?
Let me explain.
Tell me more, please.
It's free.
Wow.
The best option. If it's free, it's gonna be lit.
I'm a broke college kid. I don't got money.
There's creation tools that allow you to re-record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Sick.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Not to mention, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That means start off 0 listeners, and you can already get ads.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is probably the best news I've heard all day.
Dude, it's everything you need in a podcast to make a podcast all in one. So, guys, if you want to make a podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.fm to get started.
Wow. I'm going to go make me a podcast right now. Wow, what a great and different ad from last time.
It was the exact same. What are you talking about? All right, let's see. I don't really have that much to talk about, honestly. You have anything interesting to talk about?
Well, I mean, we could talk about the song I recorded today. Because, guys, this is stressing me out, okay?
This is serious, guys.
I made a song because, like, I found, as I've talked about, Soundtrap. This is a great site for making beats and stuff. And so I made this whole, like, beat.
And it's free.
It's free. It's great.
It's free.
Check it out. So I made this whole song, and I wrote the lyrics and everything, and we just recorded it today. But I've never done, like, a song before, like, where me singing, and, like, it's about Kobe. It's kind of like a White Iverson-esque, very inspired by Stoney album. And I'm really nervous to put it out there because I'm not really confident in doing this for the first time. And obviously...
You're never going to be confident in doing it the first time.
Yeah. And I'm just afraid it's going to be like cringy and people are going to hate it. And I just don't know.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's always going to be cringy the first time. It's
for sure.
Always going to be. Well, that's because, you're not used to it. You haven't found your footing. Mm-hmm. It's like, we look back at our very, very first stuff with film. It's cringy as hell.
Yeah, no kidding.
My name's Tom that's not even your guys' first thing.
Oh,
but like you can tell that like, oh, they had to have gotten to this point somehow because it's relatively good for what you guys were doing at the time.
Yeah, we had a bunch of videos we deleted before that.
Yeah, and it's apparently obvious. I was like looking at it, I'm like, this is too good for their first video.
Right. Yeah. Like if I actually pulled up my very first video, it's just called Legos Trying to Make a Movie. It's like 9-year-old me and 6-year-old Eddie playing with Legos at our table, and the character arc from there.
The character arc
to Slick Trigger 2019. Cole and I were talking about how we weren't going to talk about Slick Trigger during this podcast. I did that on purpose.
We're never ever going to get through an episode and us not talk about it.
When we were on set of Slick Trigger
2019. Oh my goodness.
No, yeah.
Speaking of, you know what?
Right.
The thing I'm really excited about is making my own feature film.
Oh, for sure.
Because I've written stuff in the past, but like I've never like written a full-fledged feature. I tried with Demons, aka now named Glassman, and I tried with that, and I got about 30 pages in, and the story just it wasn't going anywhere. And that's when I also decided that like, oh, that's going to be a really expensive film to make because I need hospitals, I need malls, it's like I need fucking this and that and all these extras. And I was like, we're not in a position to get a fucking shit ton of extras anymore because we're out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really hard to do that. So I was like, okay, so I need a contained story. And then I came up with this idea for Reality Bleeding, and I might need 5 or 6 extra actors, but those are like really quick scenes, you know.
Right.
And like even the longer ones who are like side characters, like I could play them, or someone else we know close could play them. Like it's really simple stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. And you're working on your second, but would you say, okay, think about it this way, because I know Slick Trigger was like, I know it was your senior project, but you constantly say it wasn't for the senior project. You still wanted to do it. You just made it your senior project because it was like coincidental that it was all happening. Would you say that Shoreline is more so your first feature? Because you're actually going for like complete ownership of everything.
So
because
honestly,
you want to have like copyright. You want to actually license the songs.
Okay, yeah. So that's a good point. So basically, Slick Trigger, I would say, is the first feature that I made because I was going to make Slick Trigger the movie regardless of senior project, but that kind of sped up the process of like
right.
And
it also gave you motivation,
right?
To do it.
In my life's timeline, that moved it forward, and so, but the things that I'm doing with this next film that I've learned from Slick Trigger make it more of
professional?
more of an official feature. Like Slick Trigger, we used a lot of copyrighted songs that we didn't own, and this one we're like I want to go for film festivals. I want to make this totally original. I want to have like really, ideally everybody would like to have as many pop songs as they want in their movie, right? I for sure need one in this one, and so
there's one song that I want licensed too.
Yeah, it's like, and I will do whatever it takes to get that because I need that. Right. So that being said, yeah, this film's pretty much like our first like full all original like soundtrack. Like I actually really like. You read the script; it's more of a aged script. You know what I mean? More of a detailed,
right? Definitely
put more effort in learning from Slick Trigger, and
hopefully we can keep continuity and stuff like that.
Like with yours, we just read Cole's short film script,
One Bad Day,
yep. Which is the concept for his new feature film,
Reality Bleeding.
Okay, yeah, and so like, and I think that's a super good idea. I don't know if you want to tell them what you told me.
Well, so I've decided, and I kind of sort of got this idea from another YouTuber, D for Darius. When he was in film school, he wanted to shoot a feature, but for his like finished like final project, he needed to shoot like a short film. So he shot the last 15 minutes of his movie. And then he basically used that as a stepping point to then continue production for the rest of the film, because he's like, we already have the end done. We just need to finish the rest of the film. So for me, the short film is actually the very beginning of the feature. So if you've seen the short film, you've seen the first however so minutes of the feature,
which is super cool. Because if you love the short film, you're like, dude, they made a whole movie on this.
Right. So then when I make the short film, I'm going to attempt to run it through some festivals if I can. And then I'm like, if it does well, I'm not going to market it as the short film. I'm going to market it as the first 15 minutes of Reality Bleeding. Because at that point, then I've already begun production on the feature, and it's
and
what it is.
What's cool about that is like the short film gives you a grasp on the concept for the film, and so I think running it through film festivals will like get the film festival ready,
right?
You know what I mean? Because like obviously, as we talked about last week, there's a lot of pricks in the filmmaking industry,
right?
And getting their feedback from your short will like totally like that'll just be so helpful,
right?
You know what I mean?
And then since it's the beginning of the film, if I need to reshoot or rewrite anything, we have the opportunity to do that without having to redo the entire thing.
Exactly.
We could reshoot small bits,
which is super helpful.
That's super helpful, because I also want to do a test screening when we finish the film. And we're going to rent out Westwell 7 for one showing, and we're going to I don't know if I'm going to do tickets or if I'm just going to invite a bunch of people. Because I mean, it would be nice to make some money from that, but I also don't know if I'd legally be in a place to be able to do that. So depending on the time, I may or may not have people pay for it, but we'll do a test screening, and then I'm going to try to get as much feedback as I possibly can. And if I decide that, yes, I do need to reshoot, or maybe like the ending needs to be reshot or rewritten or something, we have time to do that. So like you did with Slick Trigger, the moment we start shooting, I'm editing the same night.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
it's so helpful.
I want to be on top of it, you know? Mm-hmm. And then that also helps with reshoots while you're shooting, because we reshot that one scene in Slick Trigger maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, the scene inside the church.
Yeah, the final reveal scene of
which is why it's so helpful to edit, like when you're doing such a big project, because the last thing you want is like everybody's like done with filming. So say like we had waited till like after school got out and everybody left, and we're like, oh shoot, we need to redo some of these scenes.
Right,
that would have sucked.
Yeah.
So it really helps to edit. Plus, I mean, it speeds up the process.
It does.
Because when you get near the end of filming, you're like, oh, well, the movie's almost done now.
Right.
Like, actually almost done.
Like, it's literally genuinely almost done.
Yeah, which makes it all the more satisfying.
Right. But it's also kind of there's some problems with it, because you need to be able to show it to other people to get feedback. But if you're showing it to other people while you're making it, that's kind of ruins the whole, because you don't want to show someone an unfinished project.
Right.
So you have to bring in people that maybe are working on the project with you, and maybe they decide, oh, that performance wasn't good, we should redo that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a complicated process. But I was talking to Robert about this last night. He wants to go to UCLA, the University of California, Los Angeles, and that is one of the most prestigious schools for filmmakers.
Really?
And he got accepted to a school that is very, very similar to it. And I'm sitting here like, I dropped out of technical school, and I want to be this high and mighty filmmaker, you know? And I'm like, if everything goes exactly the way I plan it to, and I make a perfect film, Reality Bleeding is a perfect film, I can sell that, and then boom, I'm at the top, and I don't have to worry about it. And then people, because there's this one filmmaker, I can't remember his name, but he made a film for $5,000, I want to say, and he got it into Sundance. It was called Primer, and he made $500,000. $500,000. That profit margin is so damn high.
That's insane.
That's like 500 times, I want to say. It's a 500 times profit margin. So, and then like immediately everybody in the industry was interested in him, and he was getting deals from Netflix and Universal and
no
like
way,
all these,
really?
yeah, like literally like left and right. So then he kind of disappeared, and then he showed up again a few like years later with another film, and that did even better.
Who is this guy?
Fucking Shane Wright or something. This guy's like, if you look up Primer director, let's do that really quick. But no, yeah, this guy's like, he's making a film, and Tom Holland, Spider-Man Tom Holland, said that he read the guy's script and it was the most insane script he's ever read.
Really?
Yes, that's like what I don't want to compare myself to him, but
yeah,
I could see myself, like, if it were to go perfectly, I could see us getting
and
to
that's
that.
the thing.
Shane Carruth, excuse me.
Okay.
Shane Carruth.
And he just did that on his own?
And he did that on his own.
Tarantino.
Basically.
You know, that's the cool thing, too, is like, you know, like, okay, like Tarantino didn't go to school.
Right.
For that stuff. He said
he worked in like a video store.
Yeah. He learned how to make movies by watching movies. And that's a cool thing, is like, when you write, you can write whatever you want. And
there's so much freedom in that.
Yeah. And so then all you have to do then is to film it. And sometimes writing and filming are equally difficult. But
sometimes one easier than the other.
Yeah. But when you get it all polished and the way you want it, and you put it out there, if you won a film festival, like, do they what all rewards do you get? Like, how do you get recognition from people? Like,
right. So you want to go to like I think they're called like tier 1 festivals, and that's your your Sundance, your South by Southwest, your Cannes, because those are regarded as like the most important film festivals.
and they cost a lot to get into.
Their cost rates are a little bit expensive, but like
If your film's good, it's
if your film's good, it's gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you should have trust in that. Because if you can get into a tier 1 festival, your chances of distribution and selling the film are really high. Because most of those films do end up getting sold, or they do end up getting distribution deals, or hell, they even get fucking reshoots with a company or something. So getting into a tier 1 festival, if we could do that with either of our films, even if one of our films makes it in, that would be a huge accomplishment.
For sure.
Because then, let's say Shoreline got into a tier 1 festival, and you're going up as director and main lead, and then I go up as director of photography or whatever, and then you have Dylan Lardy. Dylan doesn't want to be a fucking actor. Guess what?
Boom!
You just sold this film to Universal, and you just got a distribution deal. Maybe it's going to Netflix or something. You just made $2, $3, $4, $5 million.
Yeah,
and that's crazy because Joker was made with the endorsement of, I want to say, Warner Bros. And DC or something like that, but they premiered it at Cannes, and it won like best film, like best feature, and then that helped, because they shot it and they didn't shoot it with the intention of, if it's bad, we're not gonna distribute this publicly. But then it won a shit ton of awards at a shit ton of festivals, and yeah, like that's it's totally attainable. But you have to make a really good film.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just think it's like it's such a risk. Like, I pay $50 to just enter Slick Trigger just to apply it for a film festival. Then but
also understand, it is a huge risk because let's say Sundance costs $150 for one submission, okay, and we both submit our films to Sundance. That's $300 down the drain if we don't get in. If we do get in, we have to spend more money on travel and hotel and food to be there. And
you know how much fun that would be, though?
It would be it'd be a lot of fun. But then if we don't win, we'd be out more money. And then if we do win, hey, that's great. We could get a lot of recognition for that. But then someone doesn't approach us. But then someone has to approach us and be like, hey, here's my business card. Well, let's talk about distribution. And if you have a really good film and it wins Best Feature at Sundance, there are going to be so many companies fighting for your film because they're going to give you like a small amount of like the distribution deal because they're making more money from it, but you're still making like a shit ton of money, So if you can get to that point, which it is totally attainable, and so there's a fucking 17-year-old that won Best Feature at Sundance like 2 years ago.
No way.
How is that not attainable to us? We could totally do it.
Yeah.
We just need to make a good film.
No way. A 17-year-old?
Yes, a 17-year-old.
He made a film himself?
He made a film. Yeah, it was like a Slick Trigger type thing, But he shot it beautifully, and he had like a cast and a crew. Granted, he might have been the kid of some rich parents, but like the fact that he was still able to do that,
right?
Super telling. Anyone can be a filmmaker. And you know what? Even if we don't make it, we have plenty of years to keep grinding out and just make as much shit as we possibly can.
For sure.
Because, if that doesn't happen, I'm going to go back to technical school and I'm going to get my degrees and I'm going to work a good job. And on weekends, I'm going to make fucking movies until it becomes my job.
Yes. You don't quit if it doesn't work. You just keep doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, tell
That's
him
right,
about it, Charlie. Charlie just meowed. I don't know if you guys heard that. Give him
one, Charlie.
He just sniffed it.
He's a good little kitty.
Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left. Yeah, just a film festival life. I'm stressed about film festivals, and I haven't even finished writing my fucking film. Yeah, the Shane Carruth guy. This is you. This guy is you as Slick Trigger. Directed by Shane Carruth. Produced by Shane Carruth. Written by Shane Carruth. Starring Shane Carruth and his buddy. Music by Shane Carruth. Edited by Shane Carruth.
What's his name? How do you spell his last name?
Carruth. So speaking of original soundtracks and stuff like we were talking about earlier, I've actually picked out 3 songs from your dad's band that I want to use in my film.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick. That's awesome.
And then I have a couple songs from Ology that I want. I think I have 2 songs from Ology. I have a couple songs from Brock, and I was gonna ask your dad because I want at least like 3 original tracks. So Brock has given me 1 original track for Reality Bleeding. I'm gonna get Ology to make me an original track for Reality Bleeding, and then I'm gonna ask your dad if he can make a track for my movie.
Oh yeah, he's just getting his band back together.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yo,
let's go, baby.
timing.
Yeah, that's super cool. Because I think that's the way to go. Like support local people.
Well, that's the best way to do it too. Because hey, if we fucking sell our film, a bunch of people are gonna be like, "What the hell's the Roller Shop? Yo, guys, they got some bombs." And then
pretty soon
the Spotify is gonna blow up, and they're gonna be fucking popular, and he's gonna fucking get deals.
Pretty soon
it's helping each other.
It's you, me, my dad, and Posty on stage. Bopping away.
Yeah, before
with
you
Leo.
know it, it's fucking.
For some reason, he's there.
Before you know it, it's fucking Brock and Ology and your dad's band and fucking and me and you and Leo.
Hey, you're just vibing
Jackhammer, a little boy,
singing Coconut.
Coconut, yo, coconut.
Yo, Daddy in my eyes.
Did you say Daddy in my?
Yeah, that could be a song.
Daddy, no, that would not be a good song.
Daddy, you could add some auto tune. Daddy in my eyes. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited. We got a lot of projects coming.
Money move.
Working so hard.
Big boy buckets.
Big boy. Did you say big boy buckets?
Yes.
What is that?
Just like we're just draining the buckets slightly. Okay. You know what I mean?
All right. That was just weird. I was confused.
You know what we should do for an episode is we should do impressions.
Impressions? I
don't know. Just.
I don't know. Yeah.
We can do Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why did I hire you?
Do you like the best worst Jerry Seinfeld impression you can do?
What are you doing? Tell me.
What are you doing?
She turned into a monster. Nah.
Like Scoob.
Like Scoob.
Don't make me get the peanut butter.
I could do Joe Swanson from Family Guy. Hey Peter, how's it going? How's it going, Peter? Yes, listen, I have some important news. Your whole family just died. It's quite unfortunate.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
We should just do an entire episode just as a character.
Yeah, I'll be Maury from Big Mouth. Touch yourself, cool.
I don't watch Big Mouth. I don't like Big Mouth. Not a fan.
Really?
Not a fan.
You don't like
I tried
Big
watching.
Mouth?
It's just cringy. It's like, ugh. Not a fan.
Ugh.
Not a fan. Sorry, bro.
You know what, Cole? I'm done with this podcast.
You know what? Podcast.
I'm done.
I can't believe
you.
Welcome to the part of the podcast where we're just trying to extend the length.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can quit watching now if you want.
The next 5 minutes are us just going to be fucking around.
Yeah. Cole flicking his lighter.
That's what we have done for the last 5 minutes, actually.
Yeah. What do you think, Charlie?
I'll tell you what. I'm going to pull out a note card here. Sorry for you guys who can't see anything. I am going to decorate my room in posters.
Ooh.
In movie posters from our projects.
Hey.
So currently I have Slick Trigger up. I'm going to print out the poster for Slick Trigger behind the scenes. And I'm going to get you and Dill and me and Ed to sign it. when I have the design, I'm gonna print out the poster for One Bad Day, and then same for Reality Bleeding, and I'm gonna have people sign it. Gorilla, I made that poster for Gorilla.
I saw that. That's awesome.
And I'm gonna print that out, and I'm gonna have you guys sign it, including Aaron. And then Robert's 1039.3, he said that he'd send me a print of it, and then I'm gonna get that for him too.
That's awesome.
Just fill the whole room
Fill
with
our
like
podcasting
our own
space.
personal shit, you know?
Yes.
It'd be so cool.
That's awesome.
I'm also thinking about moving out later this year.
Really?
Maybe the end of summer.
Where you gonna
After
move?
the film is finished. Because then, you know, that's when I'd have money again.
Right,
Because
yeah,
I'm gonna
no
waste a
kidding.
lot of money on this film.
Yep, yep.
My budget, by the way, currently for the film, put all the equipment together, $10,000.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm thinking about opening up a credit card
Ooh.
and just
Just
getting it all,
Yeah.
all in one go, and just having 10 grand in credit card debt.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to roll. My budget for Shoreline is still like $50 right now.
Well, it's because you haven't gotten the camera yet.
I actually ordered the camera earlier this
Oh,
week.
so then you
Let's
can add that to
go,
the
baby.
budget. You add it-
Well, no, I like to keep the budget as low as I possibly can, so that way I can tell people, "Hey,
no, you
made this
can't
on
do
$15
that.
bucks."
You can't do that though.
All right, fine. We'll add the camera in.
So it's at
$900
least
bucks.
it's at least like $1,000.
Yeah.
Your budget for Shoreline then.
Yeah.
At least. And then when I get lenses, you can use my lenses.
Would you say Slick Trickers is a zero budget movie?
It was like, yeah. Well, yeah, because we used a lot of it was closer to like $100, I want to say,
Yeah.
because there were some extra props that we needed to buy.
For sure.
And if you don't count gas, because there was a lot of gas spent going back and forth between places.
True.
But most of it, I'd say it was really, really, really low budget.
It's as close as you can get to.
Yeah, because you literally ran on one camera battery. We cannot do that
no,
again.
we can't do that again.
That was torture.
That was awful. It was awful.
It was awful. Literally, guys. If you're gonna be a fucking filmmaker, find some way to have either multiple batteries or one really big battery.
Yeah. Extension cords ain't gonna cut it.
No, they're not.
They're not. They're really not.
And then get yourself some lights that are wireless too. That have battery.
Did I tell you I
plates on
got
them.
some?
Did you?
2 wireless lights.
Are they like mine? Like, what are the battery plates? Are they like NPF batteries, or do you have to charge
NPF.
them? They are NPF.
Is that good?
Yo, NPF,
Let's go, baby.
gang.
They're-
NPF, or those batteries are so good.
Really?
They hold so much. Yeah, I have one up there on a charger. It's not plugged into the wall, but it's 10,000 milliamp hours. That could charge the A6400 for like a full day recording 4K.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these lights take 2. How long do you think they'll last?
It takes 2. So it has space for 2 plates, for 2 NPF batteries.
Yeah.
You only need to put 1 in. It doesn't require 2.
Really?
Yeah.
But if you put 2 in, you get more.
But if you
usage.
2 in, then yeah,
So I
it
shouldn't
lasts a
order 4?
really long time though.
So do I not order 4?
You should get as many batteries as you possibly can, because if you go with the same setup that I'm going to use, because I want to get the first things that I'm going to buy for my camera, or obviously I'm going to get the camera lens package, and then I'm going to buy a cage for it, and then I'm going to buy an NPF battery plate with a dummy battery, and then the dummy battery, basically it's pulling power from the NPF battery plate, and you put a battery on it, and then that will charge it for the entire day. So then if you have, let's say, 4 NPF 970s, which hold 10,000 milliamp hours, that's plenty of power. That's plenty of power. That's enough power for lights for at least 4 or 5 hours, and your camera, if you even use one battery, for at least 7 and 8. It's a lot of charge.
Look at us go.
Yeah. I'm going to have at least 10 of those.
Batteries?
Yeah. Because I want to be able to because you never know.
It's like a mag for a gun,
Right,
just reload.
yes.
Just shooting film left and right.
Yeah. Then I also want to get some cinema lenses.
Oof.
But those
Yeah,
are
I gotta get lenses.
spendy. I bet
What day
I
is
bet
it
you money
today?
if I look. It's a Wednesday. I bet you money if I looked at all of the cinema lenses I wanted to buy, it's close to like $2,000, and that's a fifth of my budget is just cinema lenses, because I want to go like full manual as often as I can,
for sure.
except when I'm on a steady cam, because when I'm on a steady cam, I can't go manual.
Yeah.
So
we're just rocking it out.
we're rocking. Yeah. Hey, that's good enough time. Thank you guys.
Good enough.
Good enough.
All right. Peace.
Bye. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. We'll try to keep it going a little bit longer.
We should just end it. That would be so funny. Okay. Bye.
You know what? Next podcast, we're just gonna be like, okay, all right, bye.
That would be sick.
Thank you for
from
listening.
Cole's basement.
All right. Check Jack out. Late Night Boomin', Dorm Boomin',
The Cheese Puffs on YouTube, Instagram. Check Cole out. Anderson Visuals, Cole James, and Cole James.
Well, that's my personal account.
Oh, check him out.
Yeah,
I'll give you his phone number.
TikTok. Dude, Vine came back technically. There's
How
a new
so?
app. There's a new app called Byte. It's by the same guy who made Vine.
No way.
Yeah, BYTE. Check me out on Byte at Cole James and.
That's sick. Is it 6-second videos?
It's 6-second videos.
Let's go, dude. Vine was the best thing ever.
So yeah, check us out on. Well, Jack's making an account right now
As we speak.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to the small YouTube channels podcast. I believe this was episode 9 or 8,
something like that.
It's 9. It's episode 9. I can't believe we've been doing this for fucking 9 weeks so long.
Let's go.
That's crazy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We will see you next week. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Small YouTube Channels Talk Podcast with Cole James Anderson and Jack Unruh. And don't forget, new episodes every Friday.